Wagwan guys, thanks for this invitation. My name is Sunday Abegunde, and this is a presentation for Tech Bootcamp Africa 2025. We'll be talking about making money as a first-time freelancer on Upwork, and let's go over that. So to start with, I will be introducing you guys to the good, the bad, and the ugly. These are actually complicated aspects of freelancing. You must have seen freelance coaches say a lot of things on YouTube. You probably have purchased courses and all of that. There is the good part that everybody talks about. There is the bad part, or will I say that not exactly bad, that middle ground between the good and the ugly. Then there is the ugly part, which is the black art method. That means like you have to do some things that are a bit black art, like using VPN, using VPS, using foreign account, buying reviews, those kind of stuffs. We would see how far we can go with talking about the good, talking about the bad, and getting to the ugly if time permits us. So let's proceed. So before I start talking and talking and talking, and some of you are wondering, who is this guy? Some of you are seeing me for the first time. My name is Sunday Abegunde, a freelancer. I freelance full-time for, I think, 4 years. Yes, for about 4 years. And so I think I have the authority to talk about this. And I can help you in this session understand how to build a standout Upwork profile, because that is exactly what you want to do. You don't want to be like every Tom, Dick, and Harry on every freelance platform. You want to stand out. Then the second thing I will try to achieve with you on this session is to help you to learn how to effectively price yourself, how to bid, and how to communicate with clients in a strategic way. And I would also talk about how to build a portfolio and secure repeat business. These are things that are on the flyer, and I need to do justice to them within the short period of time I have. This period of time is actually very, 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 very short. So please pay attention. I will be on the speed of light. I will try to touch on everything and go in depth as much as time permits me. So let's move on to the next slide. What is Upwork? Hey, Sunday, we are not in primary school. We don't need the definition of Upwork. I get it. I used to think it is unnecessary until I was taking the session, and then I sampled people's opinion saying, okay, guys, I know we are all familiar with the word freelancing. Okay, can you tell me what freelancing is? And somebody says someone that works for free. Huh? How can freelancing be someone that works for free? But that was the person's knowledge. So I would not make any assumption in teaching you. You can see the title says making money as a first-time freelancer. First time. So a first-time freelancer doesn't exactly know what Upwork entails. Maybe like you just have an idea of www.upwork.com. You can create an account. Anybody can create an account, but if you just go ahead to create an account and you start chunking out proposals, or you just attempt getting job, maybe after a few months of attempting it on your own, you realize that you're not actually getting the job and you get frustrated because you need to learn how to navigate the platform. There are three key things to make money on platforms like Upwork, or let me line it down to two because of our time. The first is you need a digital skill. A digital skill in this context means that a service you can offer to someone remotely. So for example, tailor, if you want to sew somebody's clothes, you can't do that remotely. If the person is in the US, that is not a digital skill. That's not a remote skills. But if you have a skill of maybe like doing the website, doing a graphic design, you can do that for anybody, anywhere in the world. So that is a digital skill we are talking about. So what is Upwork? Upwork is a global freelancing platform connecting clients with freelancers. That means people who need different digital services and freelancers who can offer the services. Remember I said you need two things, and I talked about you need digital skills. Then the second thing you need to make money on Upwork is you need the knowledge of how to navigate on Upwork, and that is the part many people don't get right. That's why you see crazily good designers that are still broke, crazily good web developers that are still broke, And you understand me? So you need to have the second knowledge of how to navigate any freelance platform of your choice. For me, it is Upwork. Why do I prefer Upwork? I started my freelance journey from maybe like working for clients locally. That was even before my days in Obafemi Awolowo University. And then I joined Fiverr. I joined Fiverr for a long time. I didn't make any money on Fiverr before I met my friend Nat and I think Miracle and a couple of other friends who hinted me on some things to do. Like then we use auto refresh. That means you can search your Chrome extension. There's something called auto refresh. That means like it refreshes your Fiverr gig. So that means it gives Fiverr algorithm the impression that many people have visited your Fiverr gig page. So the Fiverr algorithm will promote your gig to rank higher in search, and that way it will actually get real clients to hire you on Fiverr. And yeah, it works like magic. And there are other black hat methods with Fiverr. There are even more black hat methods with Fiverr. But today we are focusing on Upwork. Freelancing is quite broad. Okay, so I left Fiverr for Upwork because the money I made on Fiverr for like maybe 2-3 month period, I made it in about a single month on Upwork. That's amazing. That's amazing. My first job on Upwork was $100, and then the clients keep giving me job for like 4 weeks back to back. And then I got some other projects along the line, got a Rising Talent badge. And I know this is a journey that some of you want. And to be honest with you, Upwork is getting more difficult and difficult. That these days you can't just go to the platform and understand it and then start. Yeah, maybe you'll be a very few person, maybe 1 in a million. The truth is like Upwork is serious business now and not just a random website that you can go to, click on and start making money. So being on this session, we are in for serious business. So another reason why you should choose Upwork is that you have access to a wide range of jobs. There are some websites that are devoted to just maybe one service. For example, TopTal, if you are a UI UX designer, you have a product designer, you have your place in TopTal. But let's assume that you are a business consultant. TopTal does not need you on their platform right now. I don't know if they've changed their mind, but the last time I had a conversation with them, with someone from TopTal, that was a message conveyed to me. Okay, on Upwork, you have access to a wide range of jobs and 2 opportunities for beginners to gain experience. So it doesn't matter on Upwork whether you have 0 experience. When you join the platform, you can signify that you are a beginner. That is the number 1 mistake people make when they join Upwork. Everybody wants to claim to be an expert. You are an expert, like you chose expert when you are registering. But then your portfolio does not reflect anything that you're an expert. You don't have any work history that shows you're an expert. Your work samples, like nothing else aside you just classifying your profile as the expert, is actually an expert. So I think it's better to just have it as a beginner when you are a beginner, and then you gather experience as you go. So you will get the job that would expect your level of delivery. So if your level of delivery is 5/10 in design, and you said you are an expert, the client will be expecting maybe like a 9/10, and you delivering 5/10 would be low. The client will give you a bad review, and your journey on Upwork will crash before it even gets started, maybe from your first job. It's important that you categorize yourself. If you feel like you are not an expert, but then you are not a beginner, you can stay somewhere. There is also the intermediate category. That was what I started with. And I think the first person I worked with, I was actually looking out for an intermediate freelancer, not an expert, because they believe that expert requires a lot of money. Okay, so let's proceed and leave this definition part. Let's talk about building a standout profile on Upwork, because this is the most important thing. Your profile is actually like your house on Upwork. Yes, so it's actually your business location on Upwork, because when anybody wants to transact with you and they come to your business location, sometimes, have you gone to an office before and looking outside, looking at the aesthetics and all that, you're already impressed, and you've also probably gone to a place whereby maybe you want to do a transaction of, let's say, 2 million, you want to give 2 million to someone, and you won't even have to like interact with the money maybe till like 6 months. But when you get to the office of the guy you want to interact with, the office is somewhere in a very rough area. Maybe you need to fly gutter all those woods, and everything just looks, this person cannot handle 2 million. When you get into the office, maybe they give you an hand fan to start fanning yourself. You will start feeling skeptical about transacting with the person. That's exactly what your profile is. So if your profile is very nice, when clients stumble on you, they come to check your profile to see what you have there. So what happens on your profile? That's where you give a broad overview of your experience on that job. You highlight your skills, you highlight your experience, and what you offer to clients. And when you're writing your profile, you write it as though you are speaking to the client, to this prospective client. You would use a lot of words like your business. I will help you manage your business. I would do this for you. Do you understand? So when the client is reading your profile, they feel like you are talking to them. Then another thing you should do to your profile is you need to garnish your profile with skills. Like there is a place where you list 15 skills when you register on Upwork. Some people will list just 4 and then leave it. List as much as you can possibly list. The more the better. And also, like, if you have certifications, it really helps a lot. Even if it means all this Coursera and LinkedIn Learning, Lindau certification, you can actually have it on your profile, especially for someone like myself. I did estate management in school, but now I do digital editing and cinematography. So I need like some certification to back up the fact that I can actually do the cinematography or digital editing and the other things I claim I can do, because estate management doesn't tell that story. I hope you understand. So still talking about building your profile, another aspect of your profile, this is even the most important aspect of your profile, that is the portfolio. I'm coming back to this fully if time permits us. I would surely come back to this. Still talking about your profile picture. I used to say something a lot on my YouTube channel to those who probably follow me on YouTube will know that I say this a lot, because it's something very little, but it's also very important. People don't pay attention to it. If you have your way, except maybe if you have a friend that knows how to take pictures very well, like give the friend, let them take you a good picture with your phone. Or if you are taking Upwork as a serious business that it is now, go to a photo studio, have a professional photographer take you an headshot. Tell them you want an headshot, because that picture, everybody will see it and it creates an impression of you. Then after taking a clear and professional headshot, don't upload it in a way that is cropped in a bad way. You need to ensure that it is cropped well, maybe like to your chest or maybe like a bit more to your face. Okay, then let's talk about your profile headline. So you need to ensure that your profile headline is specific and it is loaded with keyword rich headline. For example, you can say something like content writer specializing in SEO and blog posts. So you can see that you've carved a niche for yourself with your headline and not maybe like just writer. So now let's talk about creating winning proposal. I think I've made about 4 videos on how to create winning proposal on my YouTube channel, so you can look out for it, or I'll drop a link to that in the description of this video. Okay, so the first thing is that you need to know that you need to address the client by name. Everybody, and I hope I'm speaking with new freelancers. And if you are not new, maybe just pay attention. Some things I would say you might be familiar with, some I would say you won't be familiar with. So that's how we learn. Okay. Address the client by their name. So when you're writing the proposal, you want to avoid saying dear sir or dear client. That's even worse. In cases where you can't find the name of the client. How do you find the name of the client? Sometimes when clients write proposals, they put the link to their website so you can check out maybe their other content to see whether you can adapt with their style of content. So when you check their other website, you can maybe you watch a video or check the website, check the about page. You can find the name there. So in your proposals, address the client by their name and not dear sir, dear ma, or dear client. That's even worse. Or dear person. Or just look out for the previous jobs that client has given out to freelancers. Check out the reviews other freelancers give to that client. Then you would find the name of that client among those reviews. Then use that name when you are writing your proposal. I know this is a very common tip I have shared several times on my YouTube channel for those who are following me on YouTube. And if you are not, this is a good place to invite you to please follow me on YouTube. Then the second thing you should note is that you need to explain how your skills can help the client solve the problem. It is important that you focus on the client's problem when you're writing your proposal. Then if you are using AI to write your proposal, communicate this to AI so that, okay, while writing proposal for this job, you can copy the job description, put it in AI, and tell AI, write an Upwork proposal for me for this job. Give AI some information to work with. Or if you have a generic proposal you've already written, copy that one and tell AI that, okay, this is my generic proposal. Now adapt it specifically for this job, the job description you've copied, and AI is going to do that for you. That's a responsible use of AI. Then after it is done, go through it and remove some one other thing AI does for you, it makes your proposal too uptight and too formal. It puts some stupid headers. You want to remove some of those things and sound human. Keep it concise, keep it focused and error-free. Then another thing I would tell you to do is, like, in your proposal, some of you will write very beautiful proposal, you will not include call to action. That is an hallmark of beginners. Call to action is actually important. Then if you're saying, oh, I know I need to add a call to action, you need to add not a call to action, but at least 2 or 3 call to actions. Some clients will not read all your proposals. So some will just maybe like your first 2 paragraphs and they want to go on to the next proposal or make a decision. So for me, what I do most times is, like, after my first paragraph, I put a call to action, a quick call to action that, okay, maybe like you can hire me, then I continue writing the proposal just in case the client has more time to keep reading my proposal. You understand? So now let's talk about pricing strategies. So one of the strategies I'm experimenting with, and I think it works recently, is that they also use it in supermarket. If you walk into ShopRite now or any supermarket in your country, you would observe that some products are not priced maybe $30. You will see the product priced as $29.99. It is still the same thing as $30, but that psychological effect on the prospective buyers is something we can adapt and use on our Upwork profile for our Upwork pricing strategy. That means instead of saying like your hourly rate is maybe $25, you can say $24.99. Even the 99, everybody kind of know that, okay, that's a fluke. You can say 24.54 or 24.5. So it looks as though it is cheaper. Do you understand? Then it's important that you note that you are not to underprice yourself. Like, you want to put a reasonable price. You don't want to be charging $5 per hour for a project on Upwork. Everybody will know that, oh, you are a newbie, you probably don't know your owner, you are not confident. Even your charging can reflect that. Then another thing you should note in your pricing strategy is that you should consider competitive rates to build your portfolio. So if your portfolio is rich with very big projects, very good projects that can actually prove that you are an expert, then you should check the amount that other experts charge, and that is what you should charge. If you are still coming up, your pricing can also reflect that. Then another thing you can do, this does not apply only to Upwork, is that maybe, for example, if the client is a startup or maybe like a new YouTuber, maybe like a celebrity who just wants to start a new YouTube channel, you can predict that the channel is going to do fine because the person is already a celebrity. So you can propose to the clients that, okay, instead of maybe like if the client is offering to pay you something less than the value you expect, maybe you want the client to pay you $1,000, the client is saying, oh, I can only pay $400. So you can propose something like getting your price based on the value you provide. For example, you can say, okay, if I'm able to get you to 10,000 subscribers, this is the deal for me. Do you understand? That kind of arrangement can be made with the clients. And most times when it's not the money that they have to bring out of their pocket, they are a bit more lenient. So you can actually get your way in negotiation. And even for when you work for YouTubers too, like if it's a big YouTuber, you can discuss maybe like getting maybe like a proportion, maybe like 1% of their ad revenue. That 1% looks small. It's not something they would feel a lot. but it will actually gear you to actually work harder on their channel, and that 1% might be something substantial. For example, if the YouTuber makes maybe like $10,000, or let's say $4,000 or $5,000, or let's even bring it down, let's say $2,500. So if you get 1% of every money they make that way, that means you'll be getting maybe like, is it $25 or so? It's not a lot, but it can become a passive income for you over time, and you would still get paid for the I think a YouTuber offered me 5%, then it still pays me for my editing. So that was actually an encouraging model you can propose to clients. But now, still talking about pricing strategies, you can start with so if you don't have any client at all on Upwork, so you can start with a very low price just to put your foot in the door. And once you get your first client, you can actually increase it gradually as you go. So now let's talk about, now that you've gotten your first clients, then there are deeper explanations to these things. Some of them can be found as standalone video on my YouTube channel. To be honest with you, even if my coaching session, which I'm not advertising I don't even advertise it, because you don't need the coaching session at all, and I'm serious. Maybe I'm the only person offering coaching program that will tell you don't need it. If you have the time to sit with my YouTube videos and watch it, I don't gatekeep. I share everything. There's nothing I will share with you in the coaching session. Maybe there is, maybe things that can put me in trouble if you to get to know, because there are some kind of contents I can't share on YouTube. But then basically I share most things on YouTube that you don't really need to pay for. The testimony I've gotten from people just watching the YouTube channel alone has been massive. So let's talk about effective client communication on Upwork. The first thing is you need to know that speed matters a lot in freelancing. So if a client sends you an offer and you don't respond to it on time, you leave it for 3 days, 4 days. If the client needs the work done urgently, the client would send another offer to somebody else. Do you understand? If the client send you a message, for example, like a client once saw my project catalog. Project catalog is Upwork equivalent of Fiverr gig. So if a client made an inquiry about my project catalog, I responded instantly, because if you don't respond instantly, the client will go to another freelancer, or even the client may have messaged maybe 3, 4, 5 of you freelancers at once and is looking for a response. So if the other freelancers are still sleeping on it, and to help you get the job, and to help you, you need to have an Upwork app on your phone. That's basic. Have it on your PC. For example, when I'm doing any other thing, I always have a tab on my Chrome or whatever browser I'm using part time that is on Upwork, so I can see that red notification icon if anything comes in, and I jump on it spot on. Okay, you also need to ensure that you understand the project, the job requirements before you apply. For example, you would see some jobs on Upwork that is saying that you must be available at so time zone. If you know, maybe you have a 9-to-5 job that you're doing Upwork as a side hustle, you want Upwork as a side hustle, then you might not know that you might not be able to be available at that time period. So there are too many jobs on Upwork for you to be applying for the ones you can't deliver on. So ensure that you understand the project requirement very well before you apply for it, or if you are invited for it, before you agree to it and send your proposal or something like that. Do you understand? Then one thing that has worked for me to build very good relationship with my clients over the years is that I keep the client up to speed on the progress of the project. So I'm working on a video, maybe the client, even in the worst case scenario, maybe the client expects me to deliver it in 3 days, and I'm trying my best, and I can already foresee that, hey, I won't finish up this video in 3 days, it will take 4 days. On the first day, message the client and notify the client ahead of time. Most times it helps. So just keep the client up to speed. So if I'm working on a project, okay, I have done so after the end of that day, I send a message to the client. This is work in progress. Then 1, I have done this. 2, I have done this. The next day, work in progress. I have done this. I have revised this. I have done this. So it helps client to feel like, oh, you communicate well. Another thing I will tell you is that be open to feedbacks. Feedback, they say, is the breakfast of champions. Clients will tell you what they want from feedback, because if you get feedback, even don't wait until the project ends. Maybe if it's a milestone project, maybe like you have done like 2 milestones with the client, stylishly ask the client, whether on a Zoom meeting, if you guys have conversations or calls, or even on Upwork as a message, like just ask for their feedback, not the one they put on Upwork. Some of them will tell you, oh, you are doing fine. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's move on to building a portfolio, the part I said I'm coming back to. The first thing you need to note is that you can create simple work or volunteer for small project to showcase your skill. Maybe you just did a tutorial, maybe on UI UX design, and now you are out of that tutorial, or that you just finished a UI UX design course, and the only work you have done, although it's also even serve as your portfolio, is assignments you've been given, your projects, and the rest of them. So you can have that as your portfolio. You can also work as an intern. You can also work for free. There are a couple of platforms where you can volunteer for people across the world, so you can get global experience. I think will I link it in? I think I should link it in this video or make it available to you somehow. So the next thing you should note is that you should include a variety of work to demonstrate your versatility. For me, I'm a very versatile person. So, for example, if your profile, let's assume you're a cinematographer, no, not for Upwork, you are a digital editor. Your portfolio, you have 3 jobs on your portfolio, and the 3 jobs are wedding videos. So if you would be surprised that someone who needs a different service, maybe to shoot a talking head video, or someone to edit a talking head video, it's crazy, like it's funny, but we just think that you are just specialized, you can only do wedding video, which is not bad, because there are people who specialize in just doing wedding videos. So if that is your thing, it even helps you to be more competitive with wedding video. But if all your portfolios are wedding videos and you are looking forward to getting projects, maybe like podcasts too, you need to like maybe add portfolios that of work you have done that are podcast related to. Then sometimes if you don't have portfolio of those works, you just need to convince the client a bit more. It will take you more effort. Then in your portfolio, many of us have good portfolios, but we don't take time to describe that portfolio. For example, okay, I do this work for this news channel. What is your role? What challenge did you face on that particular project? Don't just slap the logo on your portfolio session on Upwork and you feel everything is fine. Have a story to it. So now let's talk about the lifeblood of full-time freelancing. If you want to be a full-time freelancer, that means, for example, I quitted my 9-to-5 job, I think in 2021 or thereabouts, to focus fully on freelancing. And the lifeblood of full-time freelancing is repeat business. That means clients giving you job repeatedly. So I have a couple of clients that give me projects repeatedly, and some will happen naturally, and some you need to drive it. You need to propose it to the client. So many clients that you will meet on Upwork, they just want to hire you, get that specific job they need done, and they move on with their life. So these are things that you can do to convert those kind of one-off clients to repeat clients. The first thing is you need to consistently deliver high quality for that client that you feel that if they might find it difficult to get that kind of high quality elsewhere, although there are a lot of freelancers out there that are also very good like yourself. The extra value you should give extra value. Maybe you offer complimentary service. For me, I used to tell, if I work for a YouTuber, maybe for a podcast, for their video, without me being asked, I can do their thumbnail for free and add it as a complimentary service, and tell them that if they don't like it, they should not use it. They can tell me what they want me to change it, that it's just complimentary, that I just did it. Do you understand? So your complimentary service might just be the way you speak with your client, the way you have good character, the way you used to update the client about your work progress. Then another thing you can do, okay, I already touched on that, for securing a repeat business on Upwork, and this work even outside Upwork, is that you maintain good relationship with the client. I've had a client, I worked for him, I think the project was maybe like close to $1,000 or $2,500 or so. Then he stopped giving me projects, I think for like a whole year. He didn't give me projects. So occasionally, maybe like during festive period, I would send him a message. Like, I'm not saying he should hire me, I'm just sending him a message saying hi to him, and that's all. So that relationship, he came back to give me like one of the biggest projects of my life on Upwork. And we are talking 5 figures in dollars. Okay. So I already mentioned that you should check in with past clients to offer additional service. So you work for a person who just started an Instagram page. Maybe you help them to set up the Instagram page. And 2 weeks later, you can see they are struggling with some things. You can offer the client, it may not occur to the client to reach out to you for that service, but if you can do it, you can propose it to the client. Even probably you can propose it at a discounted rate. You can tell the client something like, oh, you charge $200 for it, but because you are concerned about the business that they are just starting, and you believe that, okay, when the business is more established, you can charge your full price, that you will charge them maybe $100 or $75 for it. You know, the client would actually feel that you are concerned about their business, which is something very important for freelancers to do. Like, you must show concern for your client. Not even just showing concern for your client, you must be truly concerned for them. You must ensure that, like, for me, if I don't deliver enough value for the money you pay me, I feel like a scam. And I don't want to feel like a scam. So I try to, like, ensure I justify the money that the client pays to me. Then when a client is satisfied with you, they will drop review for you on Upwork. 5-star review, we call it shiny review. That is not all you want from the client. Reach out to that client, even if they don't need your service personally again. You can ask them that, please, they can refer you to other persons. I have a client that referred me to over maybe 7 persons in the course of our working together. Do you get? If you don't ask, they would not refer you. They would not help you with that. Do you understand what I'm saying? Ask. There is no harm in asking. Then preferably ask after they've done their normal review. You know? So still talking about transitioning to a full-time freelancing career. So the first thing you need to note is that you need to evaluate whether it is feasible to transition based on income stability. Do you have other source of income that would be there for you while you are trying to make your freelancing work? In my own case, freelancing was already bringing me more than half of my total income than my 9-to-5 job was. So transitioning, I knew that, okay, the worst that can happen is like more like getting lower than the amount I used to get before, but I would not go hungry. I would still be able to meet my basic needs. Do you understand? Because I've had people reaching out to me saying they want to quit their banking job or quit their jobs and start freelancing. You would most likely not make all the money. You would most likely not start making money in your first month of becoming a full-time freelancer. That's the honest truth. It takes some people, maybe for me, it took me just 1 week. Joshua Bond, a freelance coach too, it took him about 6 months. It took some freelancers 3 months. I know someone, I interviewed him in my Freelance Spotlight podcast. He has earned over $400,000 now on Upwork. But his first job was $10 and it took him a while to get it. So do you understand? So quitting your job to focus on full-time freelancing might not actually be a dance in the park, or how do they say this word? A walk in the park. So you need to know that, like, have some financial stability, or if you are maybe like the wife, your husband is still working and your family income still brings in something, like you still get some money from your husband or you still get some money from your parents, then you can focus on freelancing fully. So like you can, because freelancing to a degree needs funding. It needs to be financed. You need to buy connect. If you decide you probably want maybe someone like myself to review your profile, I don't encourage it. If you watch my YouTube videos, you might not even need me to review your profile, because what I would implement in the reviewing your profile would be things I teach on the YouTube channel, and you can get that yourself. Okay, so like one thing that happens when you are a full-time freelancer is that you don't have a stable income. You can have a consistent income. That means like I get income every month. That income some months can be low. That income some months can be high, so high that it can pay my 9-month salary. And some months it's just basically maybe like half of my 9-to-5 job salary. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you need to have a budget. You need to have some savings for the ups, in ups and downs. Freelancing work in boom and bust. Then to freelance full-time, you need to have invested well enough in your skill development. You can't just start learning a skill and then you want that skill to fund you as a full-time freelancer full-time. So you must have maybe like taken enough training, tried your hands on it. You are very good at that skill. Like your skill development matters for you to freelance full-time. Okay, I told you guys that I may not be able to, like, it's not that I may not be able to. it's almost impossible that I touch on every single thing you need to know about Upwork freelancing on full-time basis or on part-time basis. Like, yes, there's a lot of money on Upwork to be made, but there's also a lot to learn. So you can visit my YouTube channel, search for Sunday Abegunde. You can see it on your screen, Sunday Abegunde on YouTube. And this is my page screenshot, so you can know it's me. You can also search for the speaking pen without space, the speaking pen, no space. It will also bring my channel up. Then please, when you come around, please feel free to ask questions in the comment. I respond to every single comment I get. Okay, so I just said here that for deeper knowledge, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, you are also helping me that way, I will be honest with you, but you are helping yourself, because the resources on my channel is more like a free course. Like, that is more than what some persons package and sell to you as courses. I don't have a course, at least for now. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary, but people keep asking me. Maybe at some point I might create one, but if I would create a course, I would ensure it is very, very valuable. If I'm giving so much value for free on YouTube, so if I'm going to be charging you for videos and courses and materials, like, it needs to be even much more valuable. At this point, thank you. Have a lovely day. If you have any question, please ask in the comment below. I'll be there looking out for you. Yes, you. Bye-bye. And thanks so much to the organizers of this.